Good day, members of the Oral Examination Committee. I am Jasper L. Alinea, a PhD CIN student, and I am here to present my research topic entitled Redressing Tech-Voc Education Towards Gender-Sensitive and Industry-Responsive Curriculum Implementation Framework. For the background of the study, gender equality is essential for the achievement of sustainable development, which is not attainable without the full involvement and engagement of women. Women must enjoy equal access to quality education, economic resources, and political participation, as well as equal opportunities with men for employment, leadership, and decision making at all levels. That's according to UNESCO 2016. However, in the technical vocational field, gender stereotyping is rampant. Technical and vocational education and training, or TVET systems, are often gender biased, affecting the selection of, access to, and participation in specific learning programs or occupations for both men and women. In turn, this gender division of labor contributes to the perpetuation of gender inequalities at work and in society at large. UNESCO in 2021 recognized this impending problem in the industry. Technical and vocational education and training has the potential to promote the productive participation of women in the labor market, equipping them with the necessary skills to undertake the jobs of the future. However, this potential remains largely unfulfilled in certain occupation sectors. In the majority of developing countries, women are much less likely than men to enroll in TVETs. The International Center for Technical and Vocational Education and Training, or UNESCO UNIVOC, sets out agenda to contribute to improving TVET systems at the national level through institutional transformation, capacity building, and international cooperation. According to Alam in 2008, as cited by Ali, Idris, and Muhammad in 2013, the knowledge of technical and vocational skills is the prime mover of economic and social development of any nation. Therefore, investment in human capital is an investment for the future of any country. However, gender gaps persist globally in women's access to skills development and participation in the labor market. Because the government's emphasis that women is entitled to equal access to education as a human right, a statistic shows that there has been a tremendous improvement in enrollment of girls at primary and secondary level. But this is not the case in technical and vocational education. There are very few women who enroll for vocational courses, especially technical, because of the big challenge women face at school and even in their places of work after qualifying. That's according to Williams et al. In 2018. Technical teachers are also influencers and prime movers of gender equality or inequality. Their approaches to curriculum implementation affect the views and opinions of the learners in the male-dominated field of technical vocational education. Teachers, as the major player in curriculum implementation, are tasked to deliver instruction interpreted from the written curriculum. During the course of teacher-student interactions, curriculum has been made active and vulnerable to several realities that affect the development of learners. These realities shape up certain pieces of the culture a community is developing in the course of time. And this may include gender-biased practices that, when highlighted, might support the perpetuating problems of inclusivity both in the tech voc education and in the industry. Gender sensitivity and industry responsiveness are important in curriculum implementation. They are major considerations in the development of a gender equal individual, in turn, a gender equal society. No matter how perfect a written curriculum may be, still, deviations in the implementation from what were written affect the products of the curriculum. Linking gender sensitivity and industry responsiveness is the goal of this study. In this premise, this research will be proposed to determine critical issues in the curriculum implementation of technical teachers in technical vocational teacher education using the lens of gender sensitivity and industry responsiveness. The investigation will attempt to generate insights about the critical issues that may constrain the implementation of a gender-sensitive curriculum and its relationship to industry responsiveness. Moreover, ways and means will also be sought to propose an implementation framework that will help mainstream inclusivity in the curriculum. For the thesis statements, as I've mentioned, national and international movements promote gender equality, but the case is not the same in tech voc education and industry. It was according to William et al. In 2018 and by UNESCO in 2021. Curriculum implementation takes key roles in developing gender-sensitive and industry-responsive technical graduates, more so of technical teachers. An analysis of the critical issues around gender-sensitive and industry-responsive curriculum practices in tech teacher education sheds light on the development of curriculum implementation framework that increases inclusivity. For the research gov, gender inequality in the tech voc education is an impending problem worldwide. This led to inequality in the supply of labor force in the industry. Skills that should have been utilized among genders were not developed and lead to unproductive potentials that industry should have optimized. In the literatures, most of which dwell on the gender issues or in the industry responsiveness of the tech voc curriculum. The link between the two has not been highlighted. This link contributed well on the development of inclusivity that has not been addressed in the past. Moreover, using the teacher education program is specific for tech voc education as the lens of analysis will better provide understanding on the critical issues that hinder the inclusive implementation of the curriculum. The main objective of this study is to propose a gender-sensitive and industry-responsive curriculum implementation framework for technical vocational teacher education. Specifically, the study will attempt to answer the following questions. First, how is gender sensitivity being practiced in the curriculum implementation? Second, what are the implementation measures to make the curriculum industry responsive? Third, what are the critical issues in the curriculum implementation of technical teachers in Tech Voc teacher education program in terms of gender sensitivity and industry responsiveness? Fourth, how are the critical issues in the curriculum implementation in Tech Voc teacher education program being addressed by technical teachers? Fifth, what gender-sensitive and industry-responsive curriculum implementation framework may be proposed based on the findings of the study. For the conceptual framework, cultural historical activity theory or CHAT, or simply activity theory, will be used as a theoretical lens in this study because it offers a broad lens of inquiry that encompasses various aspects of the educational setting, such as teachers' backgrounds and perspectives, the whole institutional setting, and the evolution of the activity system over by Murphy and Rodriguez Manzanares in 2008. CHAT is an interdisciplinary approach to human sciences research that originates in the cultural, historical, psychological, or psychology school initiated by Vygotsky, Leontev, and Luria, according to Engestro, Mitinen, and Punamaki in 1999. In developing his model, Engstrom suggested that the relations between individuals and the object of their activity are mediated by concepts and technologies. The relationships between the community and the overall object of its activity are mediated by its division of labor, and the relations between individuals and the communities of which they are part are mediated by rules and procedures, which can be explicit or implicit. In this study, the framework developed by Vygotsky and improved by Engstrom was further enhanced by the researcher. To better serve the purpose of the study, the chat activity theory was enclosed in a box where gender sensitivity and industry responsiveness coexist. These two important concepts will be measured in the extent of the curriculum implementation in the TechVoc teacher education program. The data will be gathered from those two lenses will be used to develop the curriculum implementation framework. To understand the critical issues that may constrain the use of gender-sensitive and industry-responsive curriculum implementation in this specific technical vocational teacher education activity system, diagnostic questions were adopted from Chikunda in 2014. However, additional questions will be added to answer the inquiry on industry responsiveness. The same questions will be used to analyze the data. For the research design, the study will utilize a qualitative case study research approach. Generally, it can be categorized as constructivist since it will look into the complexity of views of the participants. It is also transformative because the agenda involved in the study intends to reform the curriculum and that will make it more inclusive. That is according to the definition of PERSOL in 2014. For the instruments, an adapted interview questionnaire will be utilized in gathering the data. It was lifted from the study of Chikunda. However, to obtain the other necessary information from the participants, questions were added by the researcher. The first part will elicit data on the social demographic profile of the participants. This includes such variables as years of experience in teaching the program, academic rank, academic qualifications, industry experiences, and technical preparations. The second part will obtain data that will answer specific questions aligned to the purpose of the study. Since the lifted questions only address the gender sensitivity of the curriculum implementation, interview questions on the industry responsiveness will be constructed on the basis of the literature reviews. Thus, this will identify critical issues both related to gender sensitivity and industry responsiveness of the curriculum. For the research participants, the study will involve the technical course professors in the fields of technical vocational teacher education or DTVT-Ed program. They will be chosen purposively. 10 participants will be randomly selected in the SLSU system. To practice gender sensitivity, participants will be comprised of 5 female and 5 male professors. For the data collection, a qualitative model will be utilized to interview the participants and to collect qualitative data. Appointments will be taken from participants to conduct face-to-face or online interviews and FGD. For the data analysis, the interviews will be audio recorded and will be transcribed. Transcriptions of the interviews from all participants will provide the text for the initial coding and indexing of data. The transliterated text of the interviews will be subjected to content analysis to determine the fundamental concept and the arising themes. The coded results of the interviews with the intended participants will be organized using MaxQDA, a software program used as a content analysis tool designed for qualitative assessment. Based on the occurrence of responses and the perspective in which the teachers responded, key themes will then emerge. That is the end of my presentation. Thank you very much. And I am now ready for your inquiries and questions. God bless.